Alright, hello. Today we're going to take a look at what I consider to be the easiest campaigns in the Legendary setting on Warhammer 3. We're going to break this up into a few videos. Today we're going to cover Empire, and we're going to look at the two easy ones from Empire. That's going to be Elspeth von Draken and Balthasar Gelt. We're going to look at it through four facets. We're going to look at the starting position and why that makes it easy to get going. We're going to take a look at the Legendary Lord and what they have to offer. We're going to look at the skills and the skill tree of that Lord and of that faction. And we're going to take a look at the units that make that faction, that leader of that faction, most powerful. So we can see here we've just completed the short victory. Took kind of a long time this time, 48 turns. I did it in 30 a few games ago, but having done that, it was more this time about enjoying the game. I wonder how many of these battles I actually fought this time. I think it was more. 10 out of 50, so that's about 20%. Sometimes that's under 10%. I mean, even only 10 battles fought personally is pretty low, right, over the course of 48 turns, but that's how easy this campaign is, and that you don't have to. So let's take a look at why. We'll take a look at Elspeth's starting position. It's down here at none. So at none, you don't start off with a lot. You're going to be heading for the engineer's workshop for the artillery, and you're going to be heading for the Null cannon foundry. If you take a look in here, your victory condition is only to get the school to level 2 and take out Sylvania and the Fecundites. The next condition is to take over the Empire and then get 60. So that's just, at this point, that's just a matter of click-through. So why do you necessarily want the gunnery school? Because it's all about this thing. We'll take a look at that when we get to the skills, which I consider part of the faction. So who's her opponent? Her opponent at the beginning is Court of the Night, I believe, a minor vampiric faction. You take out Dottenbach, you take Wissenberg, and then Fildorf from them. This is the big fight at the beginning. You're going to want to do this one manually. You'll probably only have a couple of gunnery units that you start with and some free company militia. By the time you get here, you still can't recruit the handgunners. But it's an easy enough fight if you're patient. And then once you've done that, if you want to complete this territory here, there's a greenskin faction. All of this is minor, none of it is difficult. You have Carrick Hearn down here. They are not going to present any trouble. You're going to have Carrick Norn here. They aren't going to do anything. Make sure you do not join Durthu's War, because you start off with a treaty with the dwarves. I found that out earlier. And then what are you going to do? Well, since you have to take out Vlad, the best thing to do is get your armies and beeline it over here before he can get really going. I was over here and probably had him done by 15 or 16, maybe 20 this game, because it took a while. You don't make friends with these fellas because sometimes they'll come down and capture some of this stuff. You want this whole territory because it's all part of the Empire. So your start is really pretty easy. You get to practice with your gunnery units. You want to practice your sieges. You start off with some really great units. I think you start off with one of the best beginning armies there is. You start off with Elspeth. You start off with an engineer. You start off with a great cannon and a Hellstorm rocket battery. You start off with 2 handgunners, and then you start off with some melee infantry, which are just there to keep enemy cavalry off your gunners. It's really pretty easy. You don't even have to recruit any free company militia to help you. Here they are. They've been around since the beginning of the game. This guy, you can see, has got secondary gunnery units. They've even got him an Amethyst in here. So what about the Lord? Well, Elspeth is a really powerful death mage. She starts off You're going to want to get Spirit Leech and Life Leeching. I just put 2 points in here and a point in here so that I can start to use her to snipe enemy lords. At the beginning against vampires, and including against Vlad, if you can snipe the enemy lords, then that really tanks the morale. It gets the greenskins running. It gets crumbling on the vampires. She has some terrific abilities here. She can reduce the healing. That's for vampires, remember. That's why that's a big deal. She gets regeneration herself. She gets these wonderful abilities here. This thing here does cold damage and slow. This thing here is regen. You can give one of your fighters regen. She gets reductions to Purple Son of Sirius, which is now actually a decent spell, especially when she's doing it. Because look, it only costs 6 to cast, and it doesn't move. It's huge. It says huge randomly moving area of effect. It doesn't move much anymore. It stays where you put it and annihilates things. So of course you can get people to bunch up around your heroes and tank them. You've got these two for reducing area of effect on enemy units, and then you got your dragon. The dragon comes with a breath attack that is basically a laser to take out enemy lords. So she's an SEM hunter. She can also dive in, traditionally with a dragon and fight. You got this thing here. Here you go, bound spell of Burning Head. Additionally, this guy here, as you accumulate steps in the gunnery school, he gets access to all of this. He's going to do damage against infantry. He can do damage against other units as well. Through the skill tree, you can add all these new abilities. And you can add there, you can see research rate and upkeep and recruitment cost for gunnery units. By the time you get Ominous Powder, which is the last of these, you probably don't need that upkeep and that recruitment cost. But this all comes as part of her faction and part of her being your legendary lord. You don't get this stuff if you confederate her. What do we have in skill tree? So that's the same one for her and for Gelt. You're going to want to go for grain silos. This is where they're different. This will be all about the essays for him, and it's all about the schematics for her. So in a way, they both kind of have that same mechanic. With her, I got a little bit of this for the guns and a little bit of this for the artillery, and then I went straight to this one when I got some research rate. This adds to the number of amethyst units in your army, makes them cheaper, but they're still pretty expensive. And then this gives you more schematics. This is what Gelt's going to focus on. For her, I'm just going to start going through this. You can see I've clicked Mannerism, and I'm waiting for that to kick in. So her skills are pretty good. They do emphasize her ability as a spellcaster, but the major mechanic and skills for her faction come out of here. Each of these abilities costs schematics, and you can see missile strength for gunnery. It's all of this stuff is considered gunnery. Then ammunition and reload time, and then exploding ammunition. I don't even have that one yet. I could get it, but at this point I'm focused on the amethyst. So I usually spend it on this, and this. I don't use these because I don't really get that far into the game, and I'm not a cav guy. I'm not a skirmish cav guy, so sorry about that. This, you can actually get these guys to snipe and stalk, which seems ridiculous. Explosion radius is great considering they're wildly inaccurate. This is great to take down towers and to put the slowdown on enemy monstrous infantry and SEMs that are on large cavalry, large dragons and such. This is the best of all because, of course, this is the best unit in the game. Come on. Hellstorm Rocket Battery. Extra projectile, extra projectile, extra projectile, because they really needed to do more damage. And then, of course, the ammunition. So all of this is keyed into making the gunnery units better. And when you get the amethyst units, these are basically magic dealing artillery and gunnery units. So they don't even worry about armor. They can take out demons without having to worry about their resistance. And then this most absolutely ridiculous ability down here. Last rites. Every time you do damage with your Amethyst Hellstorms, you generate magic. I'm not a big fan of these. I don't really like army abilities much. I always forget to use them. They are part of the development tree, though. You'll see here that you have to, what are these? You have to, where's the one where you have to actually, yeah, use the Buna Bombard ability, use the Spirit Barrage ability. And I'm not really in a hurry for that because the game's won. So the Gunnery School, massive amounts of skills and abilities in there, only in this faction, can only be done if you play as Elspeth. Okay, so what about the units? Well, obviously the best units for her are going to be these guys. She gets extra engineers. Engineers boost these guys. This guy, he himself, is just perceptive. He's what I was given at the beginning. You may want to get... Let's find somewhere where we can recruit them. Really? Here we go, engineers. The ones that I like to save, Master Builder, they build your military resource buildings cheaper and faster. There's one that's not on here, they're probably all recruited. It's the Hochland Scopes one. That one allows you to do more damage. I still love the Empire's Warrior Priests. They've been nerfed. The battle prayers now take, what, rank 15 to get this. So I used to run around with 6 of those doing Soulfire all day long. I didn't really even bother with these. I didn't even get Ulrika. I never get Bruckner. I just turn him off. And I haven't bothered with this. She's that powerful. So if you're looking for a powerful faction to play, if you're looking for an easy Empire win on Legendary, Elspeth has got it all. She's also got the Gardens of Moor. I don't really use it much. The best thing about it would be the ability to teleport around to trouble spots. I have used it a couple of times. I used it to get from over here where we beat Kemmler to over here where I could fight with Draika. They do have... If we look in here, your options are this one here that gets you Amethyst Battle Wizards, that's Death Wizards. This one here that gets you some Electric Count troops, and then this one here is the one I always go with. It allows me to purchase handgunners and mortars right away, and they show up as 2-turn global recruitment. So that's the best part of the Garden of War, is you don't have to have that early gunnery to get those units. You don't have to spend a slot on that. But you can. I often find that the only handicap on her is the slow growth rate for this territory if you're concentrating on gunnery. You really do. You don't get to grow as fast as Franz does with his faction ability to open the gates. Okay, so let's go on to the other end. The guy who used to be all about the guns. There he is. And now he's all about the magic, and I'm happy to see it. He was the first thing I did when the Empire update came out, was play as him. I always enjoyed playing as him. I enjoyed playing as him. I enjoyed playing as Volkmar. I wish that our boy in Lustria had gotten some love in that area, because I do love playing as Marcus. But Marcus, oh my goodness, that campaign is painful. Perhaps we'll give him another go soon. So what about our boy Gelt? Let's take a look at the same mechanic. Let's start with his start. His start is in Lustria, and it's very easy. You start just here with no settlement. You're going to take this one, and you're going to take this one from the rebels who are fighting the Iron Dragon. You'll get a couple of options along the way. I usually stick with the magic fueling options, getting the essays, supporting the magic. If I decide I'm going to stay in Cathay, then you want to upgrade this settlement to tier 2 at the beginning. If you decide you're going to go home, you want to take the money and you want to take the essays. So you're going to come down here, take this. By this time with the new update, this is actually usually got a decent sized army. It will be your serious fight. You have to be careful because they'll have crowmen that will want to go for your artillery, but you should be fine. So if we go find Gelt himself, no, we'll just finish that part over there. Let's go back over there. what are you going to do if you stay? If you stay, you're going to fight a vampiric faction here. You might ally with, or you might fight Nakai here. Sooner or later, you're going to meet Clan Moors in here, and you're going to meet the Blessed Dread, which is Lokir coming from in here. You want to try and keep the Iron Dragon and, what is she? She's, I don't know, she's some kind of dragon. I don't know what her name is. Oh, look, they're getting pummeled. So when you leave here, normally the Skaven and the puppets will take over. Is he still? No, looks like it's all fallen. So it looks like Cathay is toast out here. That might not happen with the Proving Grounds, because that seems to favor the good guys. Okay, so let's go find our boy. If you decide to go home, the Confederation mechanic is open to you. You can see that I've taken over all of Athel Lauren. I don't remember doing that, but they probably declared war on me, or probably what happened is it got taken over by Morgar and the Skaven, and I took it back from them, because I'm not at war with Durthu. I have confederated Wissenland, but did I confederate Toddy? I don't remember. It looks like they probably have Toddy. I don't know if I have Toddy. Oh no, I do. I got Toddy. Okay. And then I have Elspeth. So the Confederation mechanic is still open to you. You get the Imperial Authority mechanic when you come home. The first time you own any territory at home, you get that. So you can see I've got all the traditional territory out here. I've seen Cultist of Khorne do this campaign, and he avoided taking over anything in the Empire to avoid this. He came out here and took out all of this to build himself an economy, and then came back over. So that was interesting. I really like the way he played that.
No peace.
You start with this thing here, these two fellas here. Some of this stuff you can see I've kept since the beginning of the game. And you start with Simon Warner. The rest of these guys you add through this mechanic. So let's take a look at the skills and the faction mechanic. Gelt skills now, healing, rocket battery damage, reduction in spells for lore of metal, skills and cost for wizards actions here, and then this one here, just a little armor. This is kind of pointless. Of course, it's all about the spells. Getting final transmutation, Gehenna, and Searing Doom. Searing Doom right now costing 1, maybe it costs 2, I don't know. I've got the melee infantry and the gunnery, and then I took everything in the blue line. You're just gonna improve your spells that way. He's got, here we go, he's got the spell mastery here. Okay, he's got Arcane Conduit. It's all about the spell casting. And the mechanic in the colleges. You can recruit your mages here. Each time you click one, it increases the number of mages that you can get. They do get progressively more expensive. Like this one will cost 250, 250, 200 for that one. These are one-time abilities. These are one-time abilities that replenish. And then there's these sets of equipment that you can get. I've got so much arcane essays, and I still haven't bought all of these things just because, I mean, you don't even need them. I mean, do I really need to reduce the magic cost of Lure Shadow spells when essentially Gelt's army has almost 300 magic, and I can replenish it with this fella. So this allows you to do some just amazing things. You can use this one to manufacture gold from magic. This one here, is that the one? Damage all the armies that are in the region with you. So if you go in somewhere, you get siege, you can smack them with this one. This heals up an entire army after a nasty fight. This one here lets you go again. Take an army and go again. Quite reasonably, that's 8-turn cooldown. This one here gives barrier to everybody. This one here, stalk for the entire army, allows you to ambush enemies, I believe, just like you're a Skaven. So there's some pretty outrageous stuff in here. The good part about this campaign is at the beginning you have all these great abilities you'd like to do, and you don't have enough of this. It's just gotten to the point now where it's a steamroller campaign. something that's very familiar to Warhammer 3 players. So I've got more magic than I need. You know, it's around the time that you stop caring what your ancillaries are and what your guys are wearing and what special equipment you have, because your armies are so good at defeating everybody in auto-resolve. I don't even want to know what the auto-resolve status is for this thing. Where's our battles? Okay, so we've done about 20% of the battles in this one. So that's not too bad, actually. I often like to do the battles with Gelt, especially sieges, because I like to pound the enemy and then run around with him blasting them. All of these guys right now, they're on flying mounts, so you can sit this in the corner and pound away, and then these guys can just fly in a group over enemies, dumping whatever they want. I mean, 283 magic. You're just not going to run out. Okay, so that's your skills, that's the skill tree. The mages are each come with some kind of special ability here. This guy here, Aura of Protection. What do we got there? Damage resistance for everybody within 55 meters. So again, you just fly around in a bunch. Where's the mage? Oh, do I not have a wild mage in here? Okay, this one here raises your healing cap. This one here, campaign movement rage and ambush defense. I don't have. That's interesting. I don't have a beast mage in there. Here he is. He's in somebody else's army. He can summon a unit of eagles. They're really pretty terrible, but they're great for taking out enemy artillery if that's your thing. Okay, so finally, the units. The units are just your mages. Your mages are going to be everything. All you got to do is just have some regular traditional units to fight the regular way that you would with any empire, and then these guys are going to accentuate everything. I mean, this has 80. It's going to have 93 magic, and I haven't even tried with Boris to do anything in particular. How much has she got? She's got 141, and I haven't really even tried to generate massive amounts of magic, massive amounts of artillery and engineer, because of course that's what she comes with. You're going to be all about the mages. So in general, I think that these two factions are the easy end of the empire. I think Franz is everybody's favorite. I think he has a really tough campaign because he's in the middle of so many enemies. Elspeth and Gelt, they don't have that problem. Marcus, very difficult campaign. And then Volkmar, I mean, he's stuck in the desert. It's just a freaky, weird campaign anyway. And the fact that Volkmar and Marcus really didn't get any benefit from the last update makes me sad, particularly because Volkmar uses a lot of battle priests and warrior priests. Not battle priests, warrior priests and whatever the hero is called. And they got nerfed. They have some good extra abilities, but their prayers got nerfed. So if you're looking to play Legendary and you want something a little easier than normal, or you just want something that I think is fun, I think massive amounts of magic and huge amounts of artillery and guns is quite a bit of fun. So these would be the two that I would try. If you're looking to get into Legendary the first time, if you're looking to push your Empire play a little more difficult, or if you're in Legendary and you're finding it hard, these are the ones that will allow you to play the game a little longer without getting frustrated. All right, enjoy.